First reading, 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 1, 6-14. And it came to pass, when the Lord would take up Elias into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elias and Eliseus were going from Galgal. And Elias said to him, Stay here, because the Lord hath sent me as far as the Jordan. And he said, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they two went on together. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets followed them, and stood in sight at a distance, but they two stood by the Jordan. And Elias took his mantle and folded it together, and struck the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, and they both passed over on dry ground. And when they were gone over, Elias said to Eliseus, Ask what thou wilt have me to do for thee, before I be taken away from thee. And Eliseus said, I beseech thee that in me may be thy double spirit. And he answered, Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, thou shalt have what thou hast asked, but if thou see me not, thou shalt not have it. And as they went on, walking and talking together, behold, a fiery chariot, and fiery horses parted them both asunder, and Elias went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Eliseus saw him, and cried, My father, the chariot of Israel, and the driver thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own garments, and rent them in 2 pieces. And he took up the mantle of Elias, that fell from him, and going back, he stood upon the bank of the Jordan. And he struck the waters with the mantle of Elias, that had fallen from him, and they were not divided. And he said, Where is now the God of Elias? And he struck the waters, and they were divided, hither and thither, and Eliseus passed over. Psalms chapter 31 verse 20-21, 24. O how great is the multitude of thy sweetness, O Lord, which thou hast hidden for them that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them that hope in thee, in the sight of the sons of men. Thou shalt hide them in the secret of thy face, from the disturbance of men. Thou shalt protect them in thy tabernacle from the contradiction of tongues. O love the Lord, all ye his saints, for the Lord will require truth, and will repay them abundantly that act proudly. Gospel, Matthew chapter 6 verse 1-6, 16-18. Take heed that you do not your justice before men, to be seen by them, otherwise you shall not have a reward of your Father who is in heaven. Therefore when thou dost an alms deed, sound not a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be honored by men. Amen, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when thou dost alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doth, that thy alms may be in secret, and thy Father who seeth in secret will repay thee. And when ye pray, you shall not be as the hypocrites, that love to stand and pray in the synagogues and corners of the streets, that they may be seen by men. Amen, I say to you, they have received their reward. But thou, when thou shalt pray, enter into thy chamber, and having shut the door, pray to thy Father in secret, and thy Father who seeth in secret will repay thee. And when you fast, be not as the hypocrites, sad. For they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Amen, I say to you, they have received their reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thy head, and wash thy face, that thou appear not to men to fast, but to thy Father who is in secret, and thy Father who seeth in secret, will repay thee.